Welcome back, I'm Lynda Kinkade. Good to have you with us. The UK government is scrapping plans to remove a tax on Britain's richest 1%. Just days after the plan was put forward and hours after Prime Minister Liz Truss insisted that it would go ahead. It's a humiliating U-turn for Truss's fledgling premiership, and it comes as the UK Conservative Party members are meeting for their annual conference. Many had already voiced extremely strong opposition to the proposed cuts. Speaking earlier, the British Finance Minister tried to persuade them he had heard their concerns.
But I can be frank. I know the plan put forward only 10 days ago has caused a little turbulence. I get it. We are listening and have listened. And now I want to focus on delivering the major parts of our growth package.
Well, Bianca Nobilo joins me now from the Tory Party conference in Birmingham, England. Good to have you with us, Bianca. So, a little turbulence, clearly an understatement. The party had no other option. The question is, how much damage has this already done, not only to the economy, but also to the party less than a month into the Truss government?
An understatement and an oxymoron, Linda, because the Chancellor's saying that he gets it, and yet he's calling the economic chaos of the last week, a £65 billion intervention from the Bank of England, a little turbulence. And it is exactly that kind of remark which is eroding trust in the Chancellor and the Prime Minister. The screeching U-turn itself did that too, but it's the fact that this party feels like they're not entirely sure what that duo is going to do next, and so far what they've announced has gone further than the promises of the leadership campaign, and it's sent the market into a spiral. The economic damage has been severe so far, but the political damage, I think, will be far more long-lasting. And that's because simultaneously, these economic announcements and the U-turn have first of all undermined the Conservatives' hard-earned reputation that they try and promulgate for themselves, that they are the party of economic responsibility and fiscal restraint. The second being that they've fought for years now to try and change their party reputation from the party of the wealthy, the bankers and the rich to the party of the ordinary working person. Now, the events of last week, today, and we'll see what the Prime Minister says on Wednesday, are all getting them in deeper trouble on both those issues, Linda.
And speaking of Wednesday, Bianca, the Prime Minister will address the party. What can we expect from her, and what else can she do to dig herself out of this hole?
It is the question, and no one's really sure. The stakes are enormous because a Prime Minister, to my mind, in modern history has not had a worse start than this. She's now, according to the UK's most preeminent pollster, about as unpopular as Boris Johnson was in his dying days. There are discussions about how she could be ousted here at conference. Now, I think it's very unlikely that she'll be pushed out or an attempt will be made anytime soon, because the Conservatives will be concerned about what that looks like as far as the party organisation is concerned. But there's definitely people talking about how they could get rid of her. So this is a very important, almost make or break moment for the Prime Minister. Now, she's not an adept communicator. She's said that many times. She's not particularly charismatic. Her interviews so far have not gone well. She's had a very bad week of them too. One of the main concerns that people have is that she lacks empathy. To go ahead with this tax cut for the wealthiest, which they've now U-turned on, when the rest of the country is suffering from a cost of living crisis, does not demonstrate an ability to read the country, to understand political optics. So I think what she'll need to do on Wednesday, Linda, is to get across that she really understands the hardships that people are facing, and she'll need to make a far more compelling case for her economic principles, and also crucially, because the Chancellor did not do this today, take a more conciliatory approach, extend an olive branch to her deeply divided party, because they need to come together if the Conservatives have any hope of moving forward, passing legislation and standing a shred of a chance at the next election, Linda.
Yeah, we will be watching this closely come Wednesday, and I look forward to speaking to you in the coming days. Bianca Nobilo, thanks very much.